Hey, it's your boy Easy, and on today's episode of Easy Opens, we're going to be taking a look at the SHFiguarts Kamen Rider Rogue action figure. It's supposed to be the crocodile that he has in his henshin that comes up in... If you have to explain, it doesn't make any sense. Jeez. So some quick facts. They are from the series Kamen Rider Build. They are a protagonist and the fourth rider in the series, if I'm not mistaken. And their motif is based on a crocodile. Now, some people might notice that they share a similar name with another character on this show, and that's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to spoil anything. So if you can put two and two together, there you go. If you can't, that's cool too. Just, you do you. But now let's get this figure free from its plastic prison and see what we think about Kamen Rider Rogue. Oh my god, I love this suit so freaking much. There's just something about it that I just adore. I love the color scheme. It just, I don't know, it reminds me of a lot of things from the 90s for some reason. Like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the old Charlotte Hornets windbreakers that you used to see everywhere in the 90s. And I just really love that. The crocodile motif is amazing. And the way his head is in the mouth of a crocodile is just absolutely fantastic. And then you have the tail represented on the shoulders. And I think you could argue that the black and white chest piece could represent a top-down look at a croc's head after it's bitten down. The slash driver looks amazing as always. The blue eyes on the helmet are just chef's kiss. The negative space of the black suit underneath all the purple and blue looks excellent. And the back has some black scales that are just an awesome, nice touch. And the paint that they used on the majority of it is like a shiny kind of metallic. And that really helps to make the figure pop. And just the contrast between the kind of acrylic shiny clearness of the black and white on the head and the chest with the more matte black and white on the lower half of the torso with the shiny metal parts all over the body and the white little lines and stuff. So well done. This is just one of the best suits in Rider, in my opinion. I just totally love it. And the slash driver is awesome. Now, we've seen this slash driver on Kamen Rider Grease, but this one still just as cool, and I think I love the color contrast with this suit than I did with Grease, even though it's cool over there too. But this is really awesome. And then the wrench that works, yeah, I'll never get sick of that. Like, that's fantastic. The one thing I do find interesting is that they have the warning label on the back of the head with the broken glass, which probably says something like fragile. It is a little out of place. However, it's in line with the series, and you have, well, it's not as out of place as Grease's ton of text on his left thigh, but I don't know. I'm glad that it's on the back and not on the front. So you can kind of, well, you can totally just ignore it, especially if you just have him facing straight forward on your shelf. So there you go. But it's a nice little touch. All right, so Kamen Rider Rogue comes with 5 interchangeable hands, the Crocodile Crack Full Bottle, the Remocon gear, the engine gear, a Nebula steam gun, a steam blade, which combines to form the Nebula Steam Rifle, which is a repack from previous figures. However, the gun part of it is a purple, shiny, kind of metallic looking paint job to it. That's not, it's a lighter shade of purple as opposed to the, I forget what color the other ones were, but I'll try to show it on screen right now. But it's definitely a different paint job on the gun part. So now let's talk about the articulation you're going to get out of Kamen Rider Rogue. So starting at the head, you get 360, but these, I guess, collar pieces, they really hinder the movement there, so you really aren't going to be able to fully do it, but it is available. It could do it if those things weren't there. There is a joint, I believe, in the head as well as in the chest. So there is a good range of motion there in the head, front to back, side to side, all that fun stuff. So you can get a lot of motion and articulation out of that. Let's move to the shoulders. They are impeded a little bit by this part right here, the shoulder armor piece, but you do have 360 at the shoulder. This wiggles a little bit to give you some room, but it's not much. The shoulders, they go out a little bit, but again, not too much. You have 360 at the bicep. You have double jointed elbows, and you have the removable hands that also have the well, actually, I think these are just plugins. So yeah, you can kind of just wiggle them all around. There's not really a hinge there, but yeah. So there's that. You also have the wrench, which is my favorite part of these build figures. Just this little wrench on the driver belt, and that's super cool. Let's see, what do we got here? So then the chest, you do have articulation there. You can wiggle it side to side and back to front, but the front part here of the chest armor will hinder some movement, but not really much. But there's a lot of give going back, and then going forward is where you kind of run into some problems with it hitting the belt. But there's that. You get 360 at the waist. Mine's a little tight because the belt, I think, is getting caught in between some of the parts, but nevertheless, you can do it. So moving down to the legs, so they can go out not really that far. It's not really great, but you know, he didn't do a lot of splits in the show, if I recall correctly. You get some thigh swivel, which is legit, front to back, you know, articulation, which is cool. You got double jointed knees, which is always awesome, and then you've got the ankle rocker, which is, you know, legit, and then you also have a toe joint. So if you need that, that is there, and I do believe that is all the articulation you're going to get out of Kamen Rider Rogue. So according to the Kamen Rider Wiki, Kamen Rider Rogue stands at 6 foot 3 inches tall and weighs 244 pounds. This figure stands at 6 inches and weighs about 3 ounces. So now let's take a look and see how he compares to some other figures you might have in your collection. All right, here they are next to SHFiguarts, Night Rogue, and Bloodstock. Here they are with SHFiguarts Kamen Rider Build and Kamen Rider Cross Z. Here they are with Marvel Legends Ultron and the Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover Batgirl figure. Here they are with SHFiguarts Ash and Storm Collectibles Baraka. Here they are next to the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mirage knockoff figures with the colored bandanas, Donatello, and NECA's 1987 animated series Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Raphael figure. And here they are next to McFarlane's King Shark and Killer Croc figures. I absolutely love Kamen Rider Rogue. The suit is fantastic, the character is really good, and I really enjoyed the actor. The thing that I love the most, though, about this character, well, actually two things. I love the color scheme. I think that looks awesome, probably because it reminds me of a lot of 90s things for some reason, but also the Henshin transformation sequence is just so cool. It's a gator that crunches his head, and that's what forms the cracks. It's fantastic. Go look it up here on YouTube after you watch this video, of course, and just enjoy it. It's amazing. And all of that only added to my adoration of this character and the suit. I absolutely loved the croc motif and how it's represented all throughout the suit. And SHFiguarts did a fantastic job here, bringing this figure from the screen to our shelves, and it looks amazing. As I mentioned earlier, all the parts and pieces that are homages to the motif, just fantastic. And there's probably some I've missed, and if you see any, let me know in the comments. The color scheme and the paint that they've got going on is fantastic, and it just pops. And it catches the light, and it's just, I don't know, it just looks so cool. And I really just think that I'm taken with it because of the Charlotte Hornets windbreaker aesthetic that it has kind of going for it in the color scheme, at least. But you know, I'm okay with that. And I think it's safe to say that this is probably my favorite suit on the show as far as riders are concerned, because I really do love the trans steam suits a lot, and this is right up there with my love for those. I did have a couple of weird paint things on the legs, but they're very hard to see with the way the paint and the light catches everything. You have to be looking for it to notice it, but it's a minor detail, and there's gonna be some problems with some things here and there. Nothing's ever actually perfect, but overall, this is a fantastic job from SHFiguarts as per usual, and I think that they really nailed this suit, and I am super happy to have this on my shelf. So if you're a fan of SHFiguarts Kamen Rider action figures, then you're gonna love this figure. They're fantastic. If you're a fan of crocodile motif action figures, then this is really cool. It's not your typical crocodile colors, but it still works, and it still qualifies, I think. So there's that. Or if you're just in the market for an action figure that somewhat embodies the colorful aesthetic of the 1990s Charlotte Hornets windbreakers that everyone had, then you're definitely not going to be disappointed with SHFiguarts Kamen Rider Rogue. Alright, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button. And if you want to see more from me, hit subscribe as well. And let me know in the comments, what did you think of Kamen Rider Rogue? What's your favorite suit from Kamen Rider Build? Do you prefer Night Rogue or Kamen Rider Rogue? Let me know in the comments. And until then, else time.